Hello everybody, and welcome back to this Novusphere community meeting. We are now on live. Today we're gonna have the usual. Fix is giving you a rundown on the development front, and then Brian and Fix is gonna give you update on the foundation, some of the exciting things that we're partnering on. So you want to get the ball rolling, Asphyxia?
Yeah, sure. So, just to cover some of the stuff that's been going on in terms of recent development, as you guys may have seen, we've launched a new UI change to the form, which was a heavy redesign to the form. Just to clarify, it still is a very much work in progress, but we feel at this point, and the reason we had already gone ahead and released it to the form is it implemented all of the old features that were on the form, and even without it being fully cleaned up and polished, it already looks and feels a lot better than the old form did. So there's still a lot of work to be done on that in terms of the UI UX, but it's coming along pretty nicely. Um, So that's really the main thing that's been worked on for the last little while. Aside from that, the form now has full integration with the referendum standards that were put out. So there are a ton of different referendum types aside from just voting yes or no on something. There are referendum types such as options that you can select. So you can do polls where people can select multiple options, or you can do polls where people just want to select one option. So the referendum contract, as I've stated before, is very flexible in how it can be used, and it can be used entirely outside of EOS governance. It can be used for general polling, and it can even be used by other projects, including Novusphere, to do its own governance process fully on the EOS chain in a very transparent way. So I believe we're the first interface to have implemented the full spec. I believe, if not, EOS Authority might have been the first one to do that. I believe there was a little bit of a mix-up near the end in terms of one of the referendum types, but it doesn't really matter who was first. The point is that a lot of the other interfaces are finally starting to get that last bit of things added, and the referendum process looks like it's going to be ready, very soon, before the end of the year or possibly early 2019. So it's something I'm really excited about for EOS because I think it's been one of the missing features in terms of the whole EOS governance system. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of it. And I think that's more or less all I have to cover right now, so I'll pass it back over to Jack.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the referendum system is very, very exciting. Like Asphyxia said, is one of the core features that the mainnet was unfortunately not launched with. And like Asphyxia mentioned, this form contract is very flexible, not only will be used by for referendums on the US mainnet, but it can actually be used by communities to do some very interesting stuff. But that's for a future update. So Brian, do you want to take over and give an update on the foundation?
Hello. So Paul and I have been working up on setting up the foundation. So we're currently in contact with a Mauritius bank called ABC Bank. It's a small country that is very favorable from a legal aspect, and they're also very cost effective. So right now we're just ironing out the details, and the plan is to have the foundation set up by the beginning of next year, January 2019. And part of the reason for choosing this date was because for accounting purposes, having a fiscal year end of December 31st is much easier to deal with and is what most large corporations would do. And Paul, do you have anything else you want to fill them that I missed that you want to fill them up with?
No, I think that's it. We're in the kind of final stages of getting the sort of details ironed out. We will probably set up the bank account as our next step, and then actually engage the management services in order to get the foundation established. But we'll, as we said, we'll wait on that until the beginning of next year. So
Hmm.
I think we're well at hand to have the foundation be a legal entity, and then we can start doing the business that the foundation is being established for, which is, reaching out to the infrastructure, such as exchanges and block producers and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, so as you guys have heard, Brian and Fix is setting up the foundation. This is our move to bring more transparency to the community. You're gonna be seeing exactly how the development fund is being spent, the how what kind of development we're doing. Obviously, you gotta be getting that on top of the weekly updates we have posting on Medium. By the way, if you're not following us on Medium, do follow us on Medium. I'll post a link on that in just a bit. Yeah, so other than that, that's the foundation news. So I and Fix and I, sorry, have been working on something very exciting, and this is the reason why we have our special guest today, Tori, to come on to the podcast. Well, the weekly update community meeting. As you guys might have seen, we have gotten a new UI for the form. I hope you guys liked it. Obviously, it is a work in progress. We just spoke to the front end developer today to make sure that things get fixed up. But one of the coolest features that we introduced with this new UI revamp is the custom forms. And for one of our first custom forms we helped build is with EOS Cafe. And again, we have Tori here from EOS Cafe to come on and say a few words, say hello to the community, and what he expects to do with the form. So hello, Tori.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Troy Bryan from EOS Cafe. I'm I live in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. That's in Canada, and I'm one of the many members of this DAC. We have about 3,300 members so far, and we're quite the around the world group. About 2/3 of our members are in Korea, and that kind of makes sense because the Koreans like EOS a lot, so they love the EOS Cafe, and that's actually our first location is opened up there. Yeah, so this forum, I'm really excited about it. I like having the and anonymity is some people look at you kind of weird, like, why would you want to be anonymous? What do you have to hide? But to me, it's to have that option to have absolute free speech. I think that's so. When I heard about your project, I just hopped right on as soon as I could, and the fact. Sorry to ramble on here, but I'm just excited about being able to introduce the Bean token and have it. Also, it's not just an anonymity or the option of anonymity to post. It's also that people can tip each other with the Bean token as well as Atmos. And so go ahead.
So no, I just want to give people who are listening who might not know what EOS Cafe is trying to do a bit of background. So EOS Cafe, they're gonna have the airdrop of the Bean token coming on this Christmas actually, and their project is aimed to create cafes around the world for crypto enthusiasts, especially for EOS, the EOS community. Is that correct, Tori? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, that's essentially correct.
Okay.
We kind of been evolving as we go, and with as different ideas are introduced, and we learn by watching other projects, and I kind of although it's very much a DAC, I kind of want to more equate it to a distributed republic, or a specifically, basically all the group community is a the Bean token economy. Basically, if you have beans, you can control them 100%, and basically you vote with your beans. And when when we initially started out, we were thinking, okay, it was a much smaller idea. We figured, okay, maximum we're gonna get 10 coffee shops, and they're going to be owned by the DAC, and they're going to be in 10 very large cities,
Right.
with the populations big enough to have this special interest. And then we kind of realized, oh well, it's much better to just use all the mom and pops that are out there that might want to latch on to crypto and use the Bean token. So the Bean token economy is basically just any enterprise that wants to accept the Bean. And very briefly, I think the subtle thing we evolved to is in the Bean token economy is that it's a lot like the block producers on EOS. That is when you stake your Bean token in a enterprise, which would be the equivalent to the block producer on EOS. The enterprise on the Bean token economy, when you stake your token in them, they're the ones to get the inflation for the 5% inflation, and then that enterprise, with the 5% inflation that it receives from you staking your Bean tokens in them, they can trade you values. So the enterprises have to compete. So they can be coffee shops. They can trade you a free coffee a day or internet service or whatever the arrangement is. It's their choice. So the different enterprises have to compete, and hopefully more and more mom and pop coffee shops will join us and compete with the heavy hitters in this business in a fun way.
Cool. Sounds very exciting. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you have a lot more to say, and you know exactly where to post your information about the EOS Cafe on your newly created forum. I hope you guys were listening or participating now will go check it out.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that you guys already have us up there. When I go to your EOS-forum.org and EOS Cafe is listed up on the top. I really appreciate that, and we're gonna try to drive some traffic and get some people tipping each other beans as soon as the Bean token goes live.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear your feedback, because again, like, this is a work in progress. This is just first iteration of the UI. I'm not sure if you caught that little bit of conversation earlier. We do have the UI. We did meet with the UI front-end developer today. So if you have any suggestions that you would like to suggest to us, feel free. We're actively seeking feedback and incorporating into the design thinking.
Right. I'm already impressed with it. Considering you're not a one of the favorite childs of Block One with $30 million of funding and or $10 million of funding. You guys are starting this out, and same with EOS Cafe. It's a community project, and so you guys are heavily dependent on your members creating it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's impressive because it works, and that's rare too.
Yeah,
you have a product. that's probably 90% of the battle.
Exactly. I mean, you guys have a pretty impressive community as well. Not to drag on to this, because I'm sure maybe other community members have something to say, but EOS Cafe actually, like Troy said, 3,300 members, huge Korean community. If you would drop the Telegram link to your communities, I'm sure people would be interested in participating and asking a few questions and getting to know the project a bit more.
Right, and not to oversell the project. 3,300 token holders. So
right.
When people want when Moon, when Lambo, when they want the free tokens, right? So we'll see how many of those are active over time. But the ones that are active are going to get more tokens, and we do have quite a few active hard workers, definitely. And so, but yeah, as far as EOS communities goes, we're not too bad. Like, we're pretty big. I'm pretty happy about that.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so that is Tori. I thank you very much for coming on to our weekly community meeting. Hope to hear from you more once your token has launched, once you have your users start using the forum to ask questions, tipping begins. It'd be really, really exciting to hear an update from you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for number one, having me on the show, and number two, for building this awesome forum for our users. I'll be sure to start directing people there now. So actually, I'll just wait. Probably in 10 hours, we'll have the new. We'll send you the new banner.
Fantastic,
And,
fantastic.
Have it looking. Okay, thanks a lot,
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Jack, and the rest of you guys. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, cool. So now the floor is open. Any community members that wish to speak may unmute themselves and join in the topic. Talk about anything you want. It's free for all. Any takers? Do we have Castle on, by the way? I'm not sure if Castle goes by the same name on Discord. If you don't know, Castle is one of the very active community members on the forum. We posted the weekly update. Saying things, giving update on our UI, and he made some great recommendations, some suggestions to a YouTube video. I'll also link that in the chat if you want to check it out. Obviously, our response is there if you want to read it. So yeah. So anybody? If not, I'll just ask the team one more time. Does the team have anything else to update on people? If not, we will wrap up the weekly community meeting. Team? Okay, Fixie, he's good.
I think that's it, Jack.
Okay. Cool. Brian's good. Asphyxia, we're fine. I'll take that as a yes. Okay, so we gotta exit the voice chat now, but we'll be still around in the... Oh, okay, Asphyxia is just back. Asphyxia, we were just wrapping up the show. We're asking if then anyone has anything else to add from the team. So yeah, do you have anything else to add?
Well, I just got back. I had to grab my laptop charger,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what I missed, but
Well, if you did miss anything, we have this recorded. As you guys know, we are now live. Our community meeting is live on YouTube and Facebook pages, and they will be available shortly after the meeting has concluded. If you miss anything like Asphyxia did, you can check it out there. Just a plug. Okay, cool. Again, we're gonna exit the voice channel now, but we'll be hanging around the Novusphere Meetup Discord group. If you have anything else to say afterwards, we'll be there. Okay, thank you everyone for coming on to the weekly community meeting. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. See ya.
awesome.
Oops. Also.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.